Admiral April has a surprisingly beautiful baritone. Carol is a scientist on Starbase One, and Dr. Corby is the Louis Pasteur of archaeological medicine. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Seventh Rule with Cirroc Lofton.
Hello, hello.
My name is Ryan T. Husk. That is Melissa Longo, and today we're doing a review of Star Trek Strange New World Season 2, Episode 9, Subspace Rhapsody, written by Dana Horgan and Bill Walkoff, directed by Dermott Downes, and we have a very special guest today. It is none other than Dermott Downes. Hello, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for the invitation. I'm glad to be here.
Before we get started,
Great.
We want to give a very special thanks to Anna Post for sponsoring this entire season of Strange New Worlds reviews. Thank you very much, Anna, and congratulations on the new cadet. All right, let's talk about this episode. First things first, Dermott, I'm not the biggest musical viewer, so forgive my ignorance, but how much it seems like there would just be nonstop communication between you and the musical directors or the composers. How does that process work on an episode like this?
Well, I was fortunate that they had really done their legwork. I think, this was one of the smartest television shows I've been in it as far as like really sort of spelling out their arc for the season. And what's interesting about this show is they don't book directors in blocks because every episode is so uniquely different. It's not like, oh, you're just going to plug in and do 2 episodes in a row because it's cheaper and more, cost advantageous to us. So because it was specifically a musical, and that can be a whole other question in dialogue. Once I got it, there was pre-recorded temp tracks of all of this, and they brought me up to like 2.5 weeks early. So I was just listening with the choreographer and walking the sets before like real prep even began. And we were just imagining, because every song is different in this,
Sure.
as you've seen. There's duets, there's solos, there's power ballads, there's chorus lines. So there's fundamentally like twice as much work that goes into an episode like this. And fortunately, they were prepped and ready and completely backed the needs of what the episode were.
Mm-hmm.
Production. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that too as well. This is kind of a big chance, like a big risk for Star Trek. It seems
Big
like
swing.
Yeah, it seems like this show has not been afraid to do some groundbreaking stuff, mixing the animation with the the live action stuff, which was a big gamble for them. And they've taken a lot of big swings. And this one, I wanted to ask you one about your experience directing or working on musicals, because I thought I'd see a whole long list of them in your credits, but I don't. And I wanted to ask you about the kind of switch it is for you, what kind of different approach you take when you're doing something like that, and also about the music. If the music is pre-recorded and then you plug in the tracks while you're recording the scenes, or is it done in post?
Well, 4 questions in one, and I'll just sort of
it's all right.
I became part of this whole world and industry after watching Oliver Twist, and that Homer's journey for that kid to find home. And and this show has always been about we've left home, but we're going to explore the unknown. I was a fan of the show and grateful that Lucille Ball helped to make the pilot happen way back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So music inspired me. I mean, I learned the whole songbook to Oliver once I saw that, and I came of age. I was a child actor, but once I went to college and I really wanted to pursue it as an adult, I sort of came of age as a filmmaker when MTV was like really airing music videos, not reality shows. And so I got to really cut my teeth in telling 3-minute movies like set to music. And then I was a cinematographer. Yeah, I mean, I was a cinematographer for music videos. And then in the beginning with like CSI, all those CSI shows, which were very visual in their dialogue. But I did a Flash Supergirl crossover that, not to blow my horn, but Vanity Fair did a big article on it, and they were like, "This is possibly the best hour of musical television ever produced." I mean, Buffy certainly gets their props for, a big swing there, but I've also like always tried to find the moments where you can do a musical montage to let the music kind of be the exposition and then just let visuals tell the story, whatever the show is. So when this came about, it was just sort of like a perfect hybrid of everything that I've really loved doing in this business. And like I said, they had done temp tracks. By the time I came in, it wasn't with the real artists, but at least we heard the tenor of the tone of the song. And then during my 3 weeks of prep, because I had 2 additional weeks just to be with the choreographer, who's Robert Campanella, amazing guy. I mean, he has his own ballet company, but he's also done choreography for Guillermo del Toro. So he's just done creature choreography, like for, for all of his films. So there was obviously a real visual musicality and a different tone with each song that we just really wanted to let each piece sort of shine as its own. And the actors were really, they really had kind of thoughts of not wanting to be overwhelmed by, it being just sort of like, because music can get really jazz hands and it's like a lot of shots and like make it big. And like, what was great was they really kind of understated. I mean, as the songs kind of infect the ship, the lyrics become more vulnerable expressions of who they are. So it wasn't like, let's just throw a bunch of music at it. Because I first thought, like, we're jumping the shark here. Like, really? Like, you're only in season 2, although I really love season 1. I mean, when I met with them, I was like, why another Star Trek? Because the original was so bold, and each week was like, it was a comedy, it was an interracial romance, it was a courtroom drama. And they've really kind of honored that. Yeah. They really have. When I met them, there were.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to add one thing real quick, because I know you were answering a bunch of questions there, but there was one thing I wanted to throw in very quickly, which was you mentioned being a cinematographer, a DP on music videos. I don't want to gloss over that. You were DP on music videos like for Cypress Hill, who's freaking amazing, and Papa Roach from my hometown of San Jose, California.
I did their first video and then went to Romania and did a movie and came back, and they were like all over the radio. They were stars.
Yeah, they blew up.
They blew up. It was amazing in the like 3 months I was gone. Like, but the first video I got paid to shoot, because I had been doing a lot of lighting for other people, and it was just such a busy time in music videos that there was too much work. So it was a great time to sort of like promote and elevate, myself to the next position. The first video I got paid as a cinematographer was Sabotage for the Beastie Boys.
Whoa. Hey.
Wow.
Which is kind of like, it's like, it's an homage to bad 70s cinematography, but it was the best. Mike Jones went to the UCLA TV library, and it was literally just title sequences of Hawaii Five-0, Starsky and Hutch, Banachek, Mannix, like, but I'm Taylor Swift, and I've done like 5 for the Foo Fighters. They're the best people. Like, they're like, it was really hard when Taylor Swift died last year for everybody, and they were just really good people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you, as I was watching this episode, I did think of music videos, and I said, whoever is doing this knows music videos because the moment where La'an's character is by herself having the moment, and it transfers into the hotel. It looks like a hotel room or something.
Yeah.
She's completely different set off the ship for sure. And that's when I said, "Oh wow, this is a music video," and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that. So definitely saw the background there kind of shine through in this episode. And the other thing that I wanted to highlight as well is the cinematographer in you. I felt really shined as well. There was the moment in Pike's quarters where I really felt the bigness of his quarters. The background felt huge. I love the way you shot that. Also, inside of the bar, the scene where Nurse Chapel was, having her dance moment with Spock. I felt like I saw parts of that bar that I hadn't seen up until this point.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yes. So I really want to credit you for capturing the ship, lighting it in a way, and just the depth perception, making it feel big. And
like Uhura in the engine room. That felt so big and alone and empty. Yes. Beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. That was and Celia's obviously she's an amazing singer, and prepping with her, it's like, oh, you and your mom were both on Broadway at the same time and would like go meet for like a cup of coffee or drink after both doing Broadway shows, singing. Like man, Benjamin Bakshi is the DP. So I give him a lot of credit, but he got COVID right in prep. So here's this massive episode, and like I think I literally met him like I had like 2.5 days with him, even though I was up there for 3 weeks, which was terrifying on one hand because you never know until the first day how the dance is going to go. And he was great. He was really, really great. But thank you for recognizing, feeling like the show visually kind of stood out. What's funny is that scene with Leon is that originally was going to kind of explode into like cinemascope nature, like Sound of Music. And I thought, well, that's cool. But like it literally, like it would have added like, $1 million to the episode. And Chris Fisher, who's the director producer, was like, and Henry, and I think the writers even pitched it. I really kind of resisted because I said, this could be look, we're just grounded in nature and beauty. But they had referenced the episode where they first meet, and it's like an alternative Earth that they're on, and they did go to a hotel. And what if it's so from going to that, it really becomes like Under the Sheets and like just intimate, which for their relationship, actually for the episode, because she's so nervous, it kind of becomes really tender. And like, I mean, in the end, I actually was really happy with what we got. Although I completely saw something like, Terrence Malick meets, Sound of Music. But in the end of the day, I think that actually tells a better story for those two characters. But
and I also want to, sorry, you guys can jump in here anytime. I just had a quick question also. I was so curious about things that I saw. One of them was the console that was in that engine room. It seemed to be like the centerpiece where all of the music was being translated out through. And I couldn't help but think of that console in the same way that I think of a recording studio when people are recording their music and the engineers are in front of that board. Is that something that has always been there? Is that something that you elaborated on for this particular? Because it did say engineering on it. I never seen that before. Maybe it was there.
I don't know how many times they've been there. Because I don't think Benjamin had shot that set. I mean, that set before, and most of that set is a big digital wall. It's you've got the grounded set pieces, but then it's a digital projection that looks like it's a football field. Right. So that's been there, but I really wanted to ground it, and I kind of thought of it like, even though the music is coming at them until Celia like really sings out. It was kind of like, this is the mood, man. This is the mood board. So I just sort of grounded them around that like that. And one of my favorite moments, and it's a really corny shot though, is like when everybody has to sing to sort of try to conquer this anomaly in the end. There's like a Queen moment where all three of the heads I was like, I didn't cover it any other way, and I was like, this is really on the nose, but like totally awesome at this point. So I was glad everybody was happy, and like we did playback, and then the cast were just like on their knees laughing, and like I felt like that was good validation. Because so once it's really going, it's like you're in the hallway and the camera's just spinning. It's one shot. I was like, we're just going to find these moments and not overshoot it, and just let the moment and the music and the visual and the performance just sort of sell it, best we can. So,
Dermott, we'll only have you for a few more minutes. What were you saying, Melissa?
No, I was just gonna ask that it seems like there would naturally be a heightened sense of energy in filming a musical episode. Is it more exhausting than just a regular straight episode, or no?
Yeah, because the actors, once the music kicks in, the actors are actually lip syncing. I mean, by the time we actually filmed, they had gone in and recorded their version of the song, but for all of our other rehearsals with like dancers, because we were in there, me and Mr. Campanella were there for like 2 weeks just figuring it out, and then we started bringing dancers in. But once the cast was in there singing, they had already gone in and like they had been hearing the temp tracks, and they had laid down their version of the song. But not only are they learning the choreography, but then they're having to pay attention to lip sync to a song that they've sung, hearing somebody else's version. And then Nurse Chapel's is like the biggest example, even though the final one has got so many elements, just because that was all in one place. It wasn't intercut. The choreography for that, I think we had like 7 or 8 sessions, and
wow.
Jess was coming in on weekends, and that's the song we actually ended the episode on. And a lot of the cast were wrapped that weren't in that scene, and they hung out to watch. It is one of the best casts I've ever worked with. They really love and support each other, and that was it was a great way to end the song. And it turned into sort of a rap party for the episode, and they were singing the songs a cappella, it's like kind of a love fest. Yeah, it was
it feels like they're going to
chemistry.
It feels like they're going to be individually wrapped music videos. It feels like we've got 8 to 10 clips that people are going to be sharing on YouTube, on whatever. It feels like you just made 10 music videos. Was this a very,
and they're also different?
It felt like it was a very conscious effort to say, okay, each one of these can be their own prepackaged item.
And how about Pikes? Oh my God, his complete meltdown about his relationship. It was like a country duet gone wrong.
Oh yeah.
And they were awesome, man.
This is a private conversation.
Yes.
That was so embarrassing.
And the way he's like finding those moments to like himself, to her, then to the whole crew. Anson's like Yeah, I mean, he is.
He plays those looks on his face, those nervous kind of awkward moments so well.
Yeah.
And when he ends the song on
Yeah.
his knees, that's just
Oh my God, he completely delivered. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
and then you cut to Spock. Spock's look on his face like, bro, you're lucky you just got saved, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was enjoyable. That was very enjoyable.
Well, Dermott, before you go, I've got a very important question. In the credits, we see none other than Bruce Horak, but I did not catch him in the episode. Do you know where
they
he
mentioned
was?
him? They mentioned
Was
him.
he a Klingon?
He's Klingon. Remember in the K-pop?
Wow.
Oh, like
K-pop.
the Klingon K-pop like battle. Like, you know, I mean, obviously he had died, but like they just love him on that show, and I could see why.
Yeah.
I could see why. What a great guy, and like, yeah, his whole, you know, history with the show, and the fans love him. But
That's amazing.
he was there. And, you know, it was funny because there were some people that were like, we're going too far. We can't have Klingons do K-pop. So we did a different version, but it was like everybody was like so nonplussed about the other version. Like, it's like, no, it's going to be K-pop. It's like, look, you're building to the pinnacle of like what this musical is. You're not going to then just have like, you gotta like, and yeah, it was great.
And then they made the line about being dishonored or something like that.
Yes. We dishonored ourselves.
Who knew K-pop stood for Klingon pop?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Una had a line, I think she says, oh gosh, you don't want singing Klingons. And I found myself saying,
like,
I do want singing Klingons. So thanks for giving it to us.
Yeah,
Yes.
good.
I wrote down in my notes, we need singing Klingons, and then towards the end, we got singing Klingons. I was like, yes. Woo.
Well, Dermott. Did you
What
have
a
something?
pleasure.
Yeah,
Great job.
Dermott, this has been so much fun. Watching the episode was a ton of fun. I was extremely impressed. I really appreciate you coming in. We really appreciate you coming in and talking to us and telling us even if some of our questions were like, how do musicals work? We appreciate you telling us how they work. It's been great.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah, you're a good team. I hope there's another opportunity on a different show or coming back again.
Absolutely.
But keep up the good work, and I'm excited for everybody to see this and chime in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Hope to see you again real soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
right. Thank you very much, Dermott. Everybody at home, stick around. We will be right back with more coverage on the Seventh Rule. Well, hi there, everybody. Welcome back to the Seventh Rule with Cirroc frickin' Lofton.
Hello, hello.
Melissa Longo is here. Ryan T. Husk is here. And here are the trivioids of the week. They go a little something like this. The Enterprise encounters a naturally occurring subspace fold. Ensign Uhura shows off her texting skills. Lieutenant La'an came in hot to the transporter room. Dr. Corby is the Louis Pasteur of archaeological medicine. Spock wants Ensign Uhura to spill the tea on Nurse Chapel's fellowship. Admiral April has a surprisingly beautiful baritone. Carol is a scientist on Starbase 1. Lieutenant Spock engaged in successful diplomacy over some blood wine. The reason I say Carol
This is a NAM, right?
I think it might, because I think that they must be hinting at Carol Marcus, right?
Yeah. I mean, who else did Kirk get pregnant?
Impregnate, yeah. So
named Carol.
right. What was it?
Carol? Am I missing something? What happened?
I'm just keep remembering that Saturday Night Live skit where you go, and I'm Carol. Somebody out there knows that. Somebody knows it.
Right.
But anyway,
Yes.
was it the Wrath of Khan?
Yeah.
Kirk meets his son, and the mother was Carol Marcus. And it was, she said something like, or they were saying how he stayed away, or there was something going on where they were estranged, right? So I don't remember the exact details.
Khan? Or the search for Spock.
Maybe this.
I can't remember. I can't remember.
We're going to find out. Everybody in the live chat and in the comments below, let us know. Carol Marcus, is this correct? It's got to be Carol Marcus, right?
Carol Marcus, yeah.
And when did we find out about his son? Let us know exactly when. But that was a nice little wink and nod to us Star Trek fans. Even those of us that haven't seen the movies recently, we recognized it.
Yeah. Because I thought his son was a terraformer for some reason.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. And I thought that's where the search for Spock was about terraforming, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I didn't like that moment. Sorry, guys. Nah. This girl, La'an, she came clean. She overcame her emotion. She basically tells him, like, you know, how he makes her feel and, you know, the emotions that she brought up. And, you know, and I just felt like he could have just kissed her in that moment. One little kiss wouldn't have got anybody pregnant. He could have just,
well,
kissed her.
My parents told me that kissing girls gets them pregnant. So I think you need to check your facts there, Cirroc.
Well, it might be the beginning, but look, I'm sorry, but if somebody that you are having that kind of chemistry with comes clean to you in that kind of way and makes himself emotionally vulnerable and kind of, you know, reveals all of this stuff, I'm
then
sorry.
You should
I think
dump the pregnant girlfriend.
No, but at least embrace her and like give her a hug and like you know, hold her and say, you know, explain it in a better of a letdown. I didn't like that letdown for one. For two, I didn't think it was consistent with Kirk. I'm like, last time I checked, Kirk sleeps with everybody, and now all of a sudden he's turning down Log.
Well,
that's what it really is, right, Cirroc? You're like, who would turn down La'an?
Yeah, come on.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. No,
At least hug her. He needs to hug her. He needs to hold her. He needs to, he was like really almost like the opposite of what he had been up until that point. Because up until that point in the earlier scenes, he was flirtatious and he was like, "No, you got the lead, and don't worry." And
mixed signals there, yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't like being all business and professional prior to that. He was super like, "Hey, I guess it's me and you again."
And you know, we got to get that drink. Yeah. Don't forget about that drink.
Yeah.
We got to get that drink together.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. He was leaning in a little bit.
Thank you.
Well, and maybe he wanted to, but maybe he found out he was pregnant. He was pregnant. His girl was pregnant, and he was trying to do right by her, even though the same kind of feelings weren't there. That he might have had stronger connection with La'an, but maybe he was trying to do right by Carol.
There was another non-appearance mention nod. And that was Dr. Corby.
Oh.
Dr. Corby, Cirroc will know Corby's last name is Puckett.
I remember that.
Yeah. World champion with the twins.
Twins,
no, but it's Dr.
Another
Corby.
One.
I think it's Roger Corby. And Roger Corby, he was like the head of the fellowship. But apparently, if I've got this right, he's also Nurse Chapel's fiance in the original series. So everybody at home, please check our work. Is Roger Corby Christine Chapel's fiance in the original series? So that may be leading to something very interesting. She goes away for 3 months, so she might not even be in episode 10. She comes back and Spock's like, that's it. I'm ready to go all the way with you. And she's gonna be like, I got some news for you, Spocko. I kind of got a guy now. Sorry.
Well,
maybe, I don't know.
There was a third non-appearance mention. Hemmer was mentioned.
Yes, very good. True.
Yeah.
But I to me, I felt like Spock was ready to go all, the way with Nurse Chapel, but then I wasn't a fan of Nurse Chapel's decisions. And I mean, I kind of get it. I get it. She's been working to this fellowship for a long time, but not talking to Spock about it, that kind of, I was like, come on.
Especially when everybody else knows.
Exactly.
Totally.
Exactly. Talk to Spock.
Okay.
He was so hurt.
I thought of Cirroc at one point, well, a few times, because Cirroc and I have secretly said to each other that we are not musical kind of guys. Like, I don't watch musicals. I don't know anything about it. But I will say I was so freaking pleasantly surprised and relieved. And I'll tell you exactly when. The very first song, which I think may have been the best song or one of the two best songs. I thought maybe La'an's was also right up at the top, her solo. But that first song, I was immediately like, oh my God, this is a great freaking song. This is really good. I was like, this is a good song. I'm enjoying it. I'm feeling something from it. So major kudos there, because I don't know how hard it is to do musicals. It sounds tough, but it seems like a big accomplishment.
Fun. It's fun. I went to school for musical theater, so I do know about musicals. I don't like all of them. And so when I heard that this episode was going to be a musical, I was like, I don't know. I don't want Glee in space. No offense to Glee, but I'm not a fan. But as soon as that shockwave went through the station, you could feel the energy shift.
Totally.
And it felt a little heightened and amped. And I was like, okay, now I'm excited. Now I'm excited to see what they're going to bring. And then that first song hit, and I was like, oh, Spock has a great voice. Oh, they have great harmonies. Everybody can sing on this show. It made sense, and it wasn't hokey.
Yeah, I don't watch musicals. The only time I see musicals is when I'm watching like a Disney movie with my daughter or something.
Yeah.
Because if you're watching Frozen, then at some point you're gonna watch. She's gonna break out into a musical. Elsa's gonna give you one of those great songs that have done well for them. But and that's pretty much the most I can watch a musical. Like, really not a live action one.
Ditto.
And I will say, though, it wasn't horrible where I was scratching my eyes out, because there were good things about it that I liked. Like I said, about the way the ship was filmed, the chemistry between the actors.
Yes.
The things that I have a problem with musicals, and this is in music videos or anytime you see this happen, when everybody breaks out into choreography and everybody
it's hard
sings,
to believe. Yeah,
it's so hard to believe. It's hard for me to believe that everybody knows the words to everything at the exact same time.
I know.
It's like
what?
Even at a concert,
they're predicting the lyrics.
They're not all on beat. They're not all waving their hands in the same direction. So it's like, it's hard for me to just, when I see that in general, I have to suspend my belief system.
Totally.
Know what I mean?
But they even poked fun at that in this episode. Kirk came in, he said, somehow I just started singing and I knew the words.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Funny.
So
he's like, I saw everybody singing, but then I was singing too. Very funny.
Yeah.
I will say though, when I really thought of you though, Cirroc, was when poor Dr. Mbenga, I'm like, man, these guys are doing this man wrong. He is not meant for singing and dancing. And when he had to because I was predicting, I was like, there's going to be a couple people in the cast that don't normally sing. That's okay. Yeah. They're fortunate that most of them are good or passable, but I was like, they're going to be a couple. And Dr. Mbenga, they're like, all right, so doctor, I want you to sing, but be really animated and happy. And then also skip. And he's like,
and dance.
Okay. Oh. I was like, that poor man. Couldn't you just let him go like this or something? Just kind of hang out in the back.
Yeah. I was like, they don't do hip hop in musicals, huh? Because it's always, they don't do any black music
just
in musicals, just for the record, everybody. But no, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, man, poor Mbenga. He's like, I'm not skipping and dancing for this shit. I could just feel it. He did as much as I would do if I had to be in this, because I'm not going to be that great of a singer. I know I can't sing, and I'm not going to be the greatest dancer. And it's funny because for a guy who's so talented, not only in his acting, but just also in his combat sports and everything, you would think that the talent can transcend almost anywhere, right? Like we've seen, for example, boxers go on So You Think You Can Dance, right? And they've won the dance competitions. You've seen football players go in and they've won dance competitions. But Mbenga is like, my grappling and jujitsu does not translate to doing musical dancing. So I felt like,
I felt like he wasn't different body placements. Most dancing is the carriage is held up. Boxing, you're more in the ground, like hip hop is more grounded and
I would have liked to hear somebody tell Dr. Mbenga, you got to hold your carriage up. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? I'm like, no, what's going on?
Oh man, no, it wasn't his exact forte, but he definitely he tried to play along and be a good sport about it.
Right.
And I felt like he was committed to it too. And in the overall thing about this show, whether it's a musical or not a musical, that I really love is the character development and then the relationship development between all of the characters. And whether Mbenga was not as, talented in singing as, Uhura, he still has that chemistry with Nurse Chapel. And then the entire ensemble has an amazing chemistry with each other.
Yeah, and the looks that they're giving each other are hilarious. Uhura gave Spock a look when he was going in his musical inside of that engineering. She was looking at him like, poor guy. Like he just got like, and then there was another moment when she says, we just need to read the activity of what's happening when somebody breaks out into a song. And he's like what? And she looks over, she's like that. She points over to, she sees Nurse Chapel right there. And he looks over and she knows that a song's about to kick in. So the look she gives him is just amazing. I'm becoming a huge fan of Celia. I think she's extremely gorgeous, extremely great at just these facial expressions and showing that compassion for people, and she wears her heart on her expressions. I really love it. I thought she was fantastic.
Yeah, and
I did too.
Yeah, absolutely. She had the vibe that the episode had, and she carried the vibe that the episode needed, which was cheerful, fun, happy. I mean, overall just fun. Just the vibe was fun, was go for it, let it all hang out, have fun, give us the energy. Nobody was really phoning it in, even Mbenga.
He was committed.
He went for it.
He was committed.
What you were touching on, Cirroc, I want to touch on kind of a larger point on that, which is consistently throughout the episode, one of the best things was everybody's facial reactions when they're looking at somebody else singing, and also, which is even harder, reacting to themselves singing, where they're going like, I don't know why I'm singing right now. And they kind of like look like what's or they'd have like the is it happening again? Like that's hard to do while you're also singing. I mean, that was really hard and very
Pike
well
was
done.
great at that too. Pike really killed that with that whole
Right.
I guess I'm singing right now face that he was doing.
Yeah, we need to all do that at STLV in Vegas. We need to all share our deepest, darkest secrets and feelings in song and see how well that works out.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah, that just sounds terrific. We'd all be making that face too, like, oh boy, I guess this is happening, huh?
But one thing they did very good, even though I criticized them for it, but it does add to the drama, is making it so that everything doesn't wrap up into a nice little bow all the time. The fact that Chapel and Spock are not getting along perfectly well is creating good drama for the show. The fact that you have the issue at the end with you have the drama between Pike and his girl. There's a little bit of drama there. They're really good at building this kind of a drama, right?
Oh yeah. I just realized when I said Dr. Corby's last name is Puckett, I was very obviously Dr. Corby. Okay. Corby's the last name. The first name everybody knows is Rose. Everybody knows Rose Corby. Right? That's a seventh rule reference. Specific. Yeah. Shout out to Rose Kirby.
Yeah, I can tell you one thing. I was never so happy for an ending as I was in this one. I wanted them to blow that thing up so we can end the musical part of this show.
Oh. See, that's how I thought I was going to be. But I'm telling you, I legitimately enjoyed this. I was scared and I was very trepidatious. But I'm telling you, on that first song, I was immediately, I'm a musician at heart initially before I ever went into acting or anything else. So I definitely appreciate that kind of stuff. And immediately in that first song, I was like, wow, this is really good music. Now, that ended up being, like I said, I think one of the 2 or 3 best songs. La'an's song was also very good, very moving. I think it was called like I'm Ready or something like that. She would hit this high note, might. I think it was on the word might. She would hit this high that just sounded so beautiful, so good. Also, Spock, I think in the first song, showed off how his range of going low, which sounded really good. I was just really impressed with the musicianship overall. I thought that was beautiful.
Yeah. Well, in that first song too, there was a moment when the camera panned over Ortegas's console and the percussion underneath. There's big booming kettle drum or timpani or some kind of huge drum that was just like whoa, 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 whoa. And it was I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing, that's so good. And then La'an's song, I got so choked up, I got moved by her song.
Me too.
La'an for me is killing it. Chrissy Chong is killing it for me because she's always consistent in her delivery. There's always an honesty behind her performance. I love watching her choices, and she listens. She's an extraordinary listener. So I love watching her for that. And and Spock, his song was up there for me as well. And then Celia, oh my gosh, she's magic. She is she is magic.
The X was the Spock song. That's pretty.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cirroc, what was your favorite song? I know you're dying to tell us. Top 4.
I would say that I did enjoy Christina Chong's performance when she was teary-eyed and in that whole music video sequence, because I felt like she seems to be battling a lot of things inside of her, and she's really trying to handle the emotions that she has inside of her. And so I did feel the frustration that she has in that moment. I feel like she really came to a climax in this episode, and I was good for that. I was glad for that bit of character development for her, because her watching her kind of look over at Kirk every time and have this secret, I felt like she needed to absolve herself of that so she can move forward and kind of have some resolution, and I'm glad she did that. So I felt her song the most.
It also felt very Disney. I know we talked in the break about how a few of the songs felt a little Disney. I thought that was the one that felt the most Disney to me, like the Wicked song or something, where she would hit these beautiful extended high notes, and it was very like, you know, sad but also kind of bittersweet and vulnerable. It felt, that one especially, and one or two others, felt very Disney to me, right?
I definitely got a Disney feel. Yeah. By the way, I wanted to also say really quickly about the some of those exterior shots of the ship I thought were really amazing. Shout out to the special effects, visual effects team, because
when the ships were dancing.
Yeah.
They were Klingon birds of prey dancing too.
Yeah. I thought they were some good shots. They were clever shots.
Strock's like, I don't like seeing people dance, but ships dancing, kind of cool.
Ship dancing, I'm not bad with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
That's awesome.
And again, I want to highlight, I don't know, they keep standing out, and we know we mentioned it a few episodes back, but it just keeps popping to me. Those Uhura earrings.
Yeah.
Yes.
Glow in the dark.
Yes.
Dude, they just keep my eye keeps catching them, and they're just so beautiful on her. The glow in the dark. So yeah, another thing that I loved about it.
The whole production value of the whole show is pretty amazing, and the use of color as well is so wonderful. They use colors that are rich and vivid and that complement each other, and yeah, it looks stunning. And
I want people also to check the background inside of Pike's quarters when they watch this episode again, because there's a piece of artwork that's in the background. And I swear it's the same art that was in Sisko's quarters at one point. And I don't know if somebody in the prop department like found this art and recycled it and put it in Pike's quarters, but it's a metal piece of abstract wiring kind of artwork that's on the wall towards the end of the episode. I think like the 59-minute or something mark, but I wrote that down. I was like, wait a minute, that looks like Sisko's artwork.
Man, that would be cool. That would be freaking amazing.
Yeah, check it out. See if you guys recognize the art in the background at Pike's place.
Pike's place feels like something.
And you know, Starbucks.
Melissa
is Pike's place.
Okay, no, Pike's Pete. It's something like that. Maybe it is Pike's place.
Yeah. Starbucks started in Seattle on a street called Pike's Place. Yeah,
got it. And they have like a side coffee or something brand. Melissa, you also got Pike in an apron too. How did you feel about that?
I feel you were going to comment about this. I'm wondering where we can get this apron.
Sniff it. Yeah, but that was cool. We got Captain Patel.
Yeah, but I also like the way they use the ship. And from the bridge to Pike's place to the bar to La'an's place to Una's place, it feels like a real ship that is inhabited by real people. It's not just a set. I just really like the way they're using the ship. It kind of feels like Deep Space Nine to me.
It does. I do have that feeling too. Because the way the bar is reminds me of Quark's. The way the medical office is better than I think Bashir's medical office looks more.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
but it still has the same kind of familiarity about it. Just like, oh, that's the bar, that's the thing. It does feel big and well used and the different sets.
Yeah, it feels like people live there.
Yes, I agree. I love Spock's line when he says, "I doubt we will be turned into bunnies." I just thought that was.
You never know in a musical. Anything can happen.
I love that too.
But just the way he said it, it was just like he's very good at doing that kind of a dry comedy that he does.
He's also one I'm very impressed with as well.
Yeah, his singing was amazing too.
Yeah, but he's got some big shoes to fill. I mean, Leonard Nimoy is Spock.
Can you imagine Leonard Nimoy doing this, doing like a musical dancing number?
Yeah, I know. But
he's doing it. He's filling those shoes.
Owning this role in such a wonderful way. And I love how he walks the line between restraint and the deep emotions that he feels as well. He's killing it. I'm loving him as Spock. Yeah. He's killing it.
I really see Spock when I see him. He's gotten to the point. He's earned my respect as he's officially the Spock. Where I don't doubt it in my mind when I see him. It's not like I question, I don't like the way he's doing it like this. No, I'm bought in on how he's delivering it, and I think he's nailing it. The looks on his face are priceless. He's between the looks on his face, the looks on Anson Mount's face. Sam Kirk has some really great comedic looks where he's like, he gives those great looks. This cast does a great job of just giving giving the audience those beats in those moments. When Pike says, "Yeah, I think we should blow it up," the way he says that, so cavalier and just it just rolls off the tongue. It's almost childish sometimes when Pike makes these kind of things, right? I think we should blow it up, and I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I thought, one thing I noticed, it felt like Kirk was saying a couple lines that felt very un-Kirk to me, kind of going along with what I think you were saying earlier, Cirroc. Like when he and La'an started to say, he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry I interrupted you. You had the idea first," or something like that. I was like,
yeah,
where's the cockiness?
Yeah, you had the idea first. Hey, it's okay, man. You don't even have to concede that somebody had an idea 2 seconds. It's okay. I'm sure she understands. But there were just a couple things like that where I was like, I felt like the Kirk that died in the past was more Kirkian, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Because he acted more, like a little
Kirk.
more swagger. So I wonder,
he was flirting with La'an and everything. Like, what's happening?
Yeah. So I just wonder if there's maybe just a slight difference between the two, and I'm sure it's something deliberate. I mean, the writers obviously know what they're doing, and so it's really interesting to see that it feels like there's a slightly different thing. Especially, did Kirk have a pregnant girlfriend when they went in the past?
No, because it was a different timeline.
Right. That's where it was. So it was a different timeline. So it could be theoretically the slightly different. Right. It was a different timeline. You're right. So that Kirk was slightly different than this one. That Kirk felt more like the Kirk that we were used to. And this one in this timeline, I don't know. It's just something to watch, and to keep an eye on and see how that works out.
Yeah, I think that one of the things that makes Kirk is that he has that flirtatious charm about him. And even if he's not willing to act on all of it, he's still going to throw it out there. And
he'll throw it out there. All right.
And so I just felt like there should be more flirtation on this Kirk.
Yeah.
Why is he invited to all the meetings too? Do you guys notice he's in?
Yeah, he's not even on the. Yeah, you're not even on the.
He's a guest on the ship. Why did he get? I keep going like, who? This guy's got some serious charm. If they're going like, hey, also, can you make sure to call in that guy that's visiting the ship. We want him on our senior staff meeting too. And I'm like, why is Kirk there? I keep catching him.
Well, maybe it has something to do with Pike's glimpse at his future and something to do with the final final episode of the first season.
Yeah,
where he knows that Kirk is going to be his successor, so might as well.
That's a great point.
Well, yeah, but I'm kind of with you on that. I feel like, well, how long is he here for? Is this guy?
I know. I get that too. I'm like, don't you have a ship? Aren't you the first officer? But they don't need you. They don't need you.
Where's your ship?
Your girlfriend, your pregnant girlfriend, your ship. Nobody needs you right now. You're just hanging out here with La'an and teasing her, huh? That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I don't like that.
I agree with Cirroc. I almost called you Spock, Cirroc.
Yeah.
But I agree that, a little kiss, it's saying, there is that connection, but I can't act on it more than this, and then they part ways.
Or just like, I have feelings for you too, but I can't act on it. He showed no signs of he acted like they came out of nowhere. Like he wasn't flirting with her the whole episode.
Exactly. Or in previous episodes, he's been flirting with her the whole time.
Yeah, it would be different if he was like matter of fact and about this, and she's like pressing herself on him. He's inviting it. He's the one, hey, you owe me that drink. Don't forget about that drink.
Exactly. And he didn't notice her go the wrong way when she was trying to leave the transporter room. I mean, that's, you do goofy stuff like that when you're around somebody you like.
Didn't he say, when you first called me, I felt something? Didn't he mention that?
He did.
When she called and did the security check, I'm just doing a security check, your background kind of phone call that she did. And he mentioned that he felt something, if I'm not mistaken, right?
He did. And he did say I definitely feel a connection here. Yeah. He said that.
I think in that moment, when you see somebody that vulnerable and literally pouring themselves out to you, it doesn't hurt to give them a hug. Even the moment of the kiss, I was like, kiss her, goddamn! I was kiss her, damn it, kiss her. I mean, when do you have to beg to kiss somebody?
Kiss her.
Like, when do you have to beg that dude?
Like,
maybe when they were talking about a good connection, he was just talking about Wi-Fi. We don't know. But look, Melissa, when you almost called Cirroc Spock, I do want to say that's okay because Cirroc has played a half Vulcan just like Spock before, and he is. Cirroc Lofton in Of Gods and Men, half Vulcan, half human, all awesome shirt.
Yes, the ears are great.
Yeah,
you
still got those ears somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah, somewhere. Thank you, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I have to say, because I really am not a fan.
Me too, thankfully.
At all. But thankfully, they carried it with storyline and with backstory, and they developed some of the unfinished business that we've had with these characters. I have to say also really quick, I know we're kind of close to the end, but one, I'm not essentially buying the chemistry between Pike and his girlfriend. I don't know about you guys.
I'm a little the same way too, actually.
I'm just like, they don't work. To me, they don't.
They're not clicking. They don't click.
They fight without the moments that make it seem worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel the chemistry there, and I don't know what the deal is, but I'm just not buying it. I'm buying their relationship is more in dysfunction than function. It looks like it's not even working to me.
Right. I read something that the lady that plays Captain Battelle just says that Anson Mount's just not attractive. That's what she said. So she said, yeah, I don't know what I could, what do you guys, I can't move mountains here.
Well, that's what she's paid for. It's called acting.
Kidding. Of course, everybody knows that Anson Mount is ruggedly handsome, and and amazing.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's just a chemistry issue for me, or maybe they're writing it in a certain way, but I just feel like I don't feel the chemistry. I don't feel the intimacy. I feel like they're more like co-workers than intimate partners.
Yeah, I agree. I don't feel that fire that I felt between Spock and T'Pring, or Spock and Nurse Chapel, or La'an and Kirk. I'm not feeling that.
Me neither.
mm-hmm.
Me neither.
Hunger.
Yeah, the hunger, the desire. Yeah.
Yeah, we want like desire, like Garrick and Bashir. Give us something like that. Give us something juicy. Everybody at home, this will be fun. In the comments below, let us know your favorite song, or your 2 or 3 favorite songs. The first one was Status Report, where everybody joined in. Then there was the theme song that was done a cappella.
Yes,
that was so hard to do, because that is such a big, beautiful song, and they did it all a cappella. That was very impressive. Then there was Connect to Your Truth with Una singing that with Kirk. Then there was How Would That Feel with La'an. Very Disney princess-ish, in my opinion. It felt almost like Let It Go kind of feel, but sadder. Private Conversation, the comedic one with Battelle and Pike. And then there was Keeping Secrets. That was also Una. Number 1. Then number 7 was I'm Ready. That was the one with Chapel, and with Spock and Ortegas and Uhura and Sam, like in the bar, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And then there was I'm the Ex, when Spock realizes, sorry, bub, she's moving on. That was really catchy chorus.
I'll hold you, Spock.
Then there was Keep Us Connected, which was Uhura kind of finding her way, kind of her big breakout moment. It was solo. It was very chill. And then there was We Are One, that again Uhura started. She led it. She really kind of took over this second half of the episode and the beginning of the episode. She started with the communications officer's log and all that, and the texting. So she was really cool. Anyway, those were the 10. There was also Subspace Rhapsody at the very end during the credits. I don't think there was any singing, just music, but those were the 10. Let us know your favorites in the comments below, because I have a feeling those are going to blow up on the internet. People are going to be getting the songs and the music videos. That's my guess.
Yeah. I was expecting to hear some Bohemian Rhapsody in this. They had
the heads, right? Yeah.
Dermott, talked about the heads, and I was like, yes, I got that. I knew it. Brilliant.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's about it for us today. Thank goodness. I was so worried going into this. I thought that I was not going to make it, but I actually enjoyed myself very much. Cirroc just survived, but I loved the shit out of it. I was shocked. I really liked it.
Well, you got to like it if they have an Eisenberg compensator,
Yeah.
Right.
They got an Aaron Eisenberg compensator. All right.
Well, it's technically the Heisenberg compensator, but I heard Eisenberg the first time.
Yeah, you hear it how you want. We know it. It's a typo. It's Eisenberg.
It is Eisenberg. We can.
All right.
That.
The H is silent.
Yeah.
Yes.
The British people, I always found it was so ironic that British people don't pronounce H's, like they say, oh, I'm happy, or they like skip the H, right? But of course they have so many dialects, I can't keep up those in that tiny little island, but they have everything's crazy.
Yeah.
But then the letter H, they pronounce H. I'm like, oh, now you're putting the H on for the letter. What about all the other times Anyway. Oh, hello. It's hello. Anyway, so they agree with you. The H is silent.
Yes.
H is silent.
Yes.
The H,
Yes.
sorry, the H is silent. Sorry.
H.
Okay, let's give a very special thanks to our friends. I'm not going to pronounce any of the H's. Our friends, Omer Frizzell, Dr. Anne-Marie Segal, Yvette Blackmon-Tom, Eve England out in Wales, TJ Jackson-Bey out in Missouri, Bill Victor Arucan, Darlena Marie, Dr. Mohamed Noor, Tierney C. Dieckmann, Anna Post, Anil O. Polat, Joe Balsarotti, Mike Gu, DQ, Neil Akasaka, Justine Norton-Kertson, Dr. Stephanie Baker, Carrie Schwent, Eighth Howell, Edward Fultz, My live from Tokyo, Matt Boardman, Chris McGee, Justin Weir, Jake Barrett, Jane Jorgensen, Henry Unger, Allison Leach-Heid, Julie Manosfi, Marcia Classic Schreier, and of course, Dr. Susan B. Gruner and Jason the Outrageous Okun. All right.
Yay, that was a fun game.
Right.
It was. It was. I had to say
God.
it slowly, though, so that my brain could keep up with its mission. All right. Well, very special thanks to Dermott for joining us. That was freaking awesome. We have one more review coming out next week for the final episode of season 2 of Strange New Worlds. Season 3 will be coming out in 2029, I hear, through the strike grapevine. No, I don't know. It probably won't be that late.
So long.
All right. For myself, Melissa Longo, Cirroc Lofton, and the Eisenberg Compensator, thank you all very much for joining us. And until next time, always remember the 7th rule.